Hi everyone, it's Jane's story. Let's take a look at performance anxiety and how it manifests itself in golf and sport performance generally. Now this is something I've studied for about 20 years, and I've also had some fantastic feedback from the students and people I've worked with over that time. The other thing that I bring to this conversation around performance and performing under pressure is my own personal experience of having been extremely shy and very introverted as a person for about the first 30 years of my life. So I know about anxiety and how it manifests in the body. I know that personally. Now, the paradigm as it stands at the moment around performance anxiety and how to overcome it is a psychological approach, psychologically based approach. Typically things like thinking about your game strategy, developing your self-esteem and your self-image, maybe reframing your thoughts so that they're more positive. And all of these things are, of course, extremely useful until you have to hit that pressure shot, whether it's kicking a ball in a football tournament, teeing off in front of the home crowd on the 18th tee of golf, or serving out in the last game of a tennis match. Now, in those situations where an athlete has to perform movement that's extremely complex, but produce it in a way that's fluid and also precise, I don't believe psychology and these current interventions, I don't believe they help as much as people would like them to. And here's why. So this is the feedback that I've had from some of my students when I ask them, what does pressure feel like? And they've said, knowing how good a player I am and then not performing at that level in a tournament sparks off memories of hurt and letting myself down, which makes me upset and can turn into anger, anxiety, and then a collapse. Here's another one. I often get a nervous tingling in competitive situations and tending to err towards the negative. It honestly feels more like anxiety than excitement. Somebody else has said, when I'm under pressure, my preparation gets too quick. Another person, I notice my body tightens, my serve feels weird, and I no longer trust myself. Another one, my pressure begins in my stomach. It is in knots, feeling uneasy. Breathing starts to shallow, tension in my upper body starts to increase, and I become very inward-looking, to the point where I'm completely unaware of my surroundings and the people I'm playing with. And one last one. I become very focused on trying not to do something wrong. There is a loss of freedom in my movements, and I can freeze over the ball with way too many thoughts in my head. So pressure, first of all, affects the biochemistry, as we can clearly see from the feedback that athletes have actually given about this predicament. Pressure evokes anxiety, which affects the nervous system or the biochemistry. So it starts to send it from maybe a neutral or just about managing state into a state of stress, where the heart rate goes up, the adrenaline starts pumping around the system. There's less oxygen to the brain, the muscles shorten and tighten. Now, the current paradigm expects an athlete in that particular state of fight, flight, and freeze to think positive thoughts, to review their game strategy. And what I'm saying is something different. What I'm saying, based on many, many years of work and research, and also my personal training, is that managing performance anxiety begins and ends with managing your biochemistry. So taking you from a situation where you feel stress back to feeling either neutral or even better into a state of being more relaxed. And your biochemistry is controlled only by the way that you breathe, how you breathe, where you breathe from, where the breath is centered in the body. I know that sounds very simple, but to actually override these eons of, the response, the fight, flight, freeze response that's hardwired into our nervous system, to overcome that when you're standing on the 18th tee or any other performance situation in sport, to overcome that, you need to have developed a performance practice, the fundamental performance practice of sitting quietly, following your breathing, which we know, of course, as formal meditation. So if you're interested in starting a performance practice or seeing how your meditation practice as it is can help you in sports under pressure, please go to my website, sign up for the newsletter, and I have a free training report called Zen Mind, Sports Mind, which is all about this link between the breath, calming the biochemistry, quietening the mind, and allowing movement to be released in a way that's fluid, natural, and effortless.